We got one here from Owl of Asia, China's deadly single women crisis. Let's get into it.
Imagine you take a walk to the market, but instead of seeing fruit or vegetables, you see a market full of single women desperately looking for a partner. This is the reality for millions of people across China right now. These are the leftover women.
Shang Nu. We covered that one before.
The term leftover women is normally applied to single women over the age of 27 who are unmarried. However, as you can imagine, this is a derogative term. Take a listen to the terminology used for both single men and women in China.
If you're a woman, single, and over 30, you are called 剩女, which means leftover woman in Mandarin. In Cantonese, you are called 籮底橙, 賣剩蔗, and 攝造辣, which means orange at the bottom of the basket, the sugar cane that didn't get sold, and the thing used for filling the gap of the stove. But if you're a man, single, and over 30, you are called 钻石王老五, which means a diamond bachelor in Mandarin. In Cantonese, you are called 笋盤, which means quality real estate.
But why is being an orange at the bottom of the basket such a problem in China? And why have people resorted to extremes in order to find a partner? Well, to find this out, we need to uncover the societal pressures and reality of life in China. In 1979, China's one-child policy came into effect. This was a drastic measure taken to control population growth. The policy ended in 2016 and was replaced with the two-child policy, which was then updated to the three-child policy, which is currently in place. But the echoes of the original policy still reverberate today, with approximately 104.7 males for every 100 females. It also must be mentioned that there is a strong preference for sons in China. You see, in China, sons are considered the golden ticket. They carry the family name forward.
Everywhere.
They're the ones traditionally seen as the wealth inheritor. And most importantly, it's believed they're the steadfast pillars who will take care of their parents in old age. It's a mindset rooted in centuries of tradition, one that continues even in our modern time. But wait a minute, there are more males than females, right? So what's the problem? Well, unlike Tinder, this is not a numbers game. There's a societal preference in China for younger brides, typically in their early 20s. Women who are still unmarried in their late 20s and beyond often face difficulty finding partners. Chinese men are not afraid to admit they prefer younger women, and many would rather choose to be single than date an older woman.
No simping in China. You see that? The wall there is 27, not 30. 27. You know, marriage, family values, all that stuff's taken very seriously in China. Very much so. Still a traditional society. Why would you risk everything you've built, your family wealth, on an older woman? You would rather stay single, keep all those things to yourself, than deal with someone that has a lot of emotional baggage potentially, has been discarded by other prior suitors, and you're going to be the bozo that comes along. Then we have to talk about fertility. Obviously, by 35, you start to exhibit a barren womb and have problems bearing children. Why go through all that trouble? Why add in vitro, surrogates, all this extra shit to the equation when you could just get a younger, fertile, more feminine woman? This is just biology at play. Just like women prefer older, more mature, experienced men who have their shit together, careers, money, all that stuff. Men do the same thing. They just want younger women. Unfortunately, women refuse to accept this. And they got sold a lie that if they do the boss babe, that they do a strong independent woman, that they go get educated at college, that they go try really hard at a career and make a ton of money, that they're going to be even more suitable for a man, that they're going to be even more valuable, that a man's going to want them more. And it's the exact opposite of what a man is looking for. That girl that's 22, that likes to stay at home and cook, that is never seen out with other men, has infinitely more value than the 32-year-old with a corner office, nice job, making a ton of money, has been seen with a bunch of men, but can't hold one down. All those men that are 40 plus, doing well in their career, on the radar of the 32-year-old woman with her career, the boss babe, has to compete with that 22-year-old woman that is seen as an infinitely better option for that man who's worked so hard to get to where he's gotten in his career. You're never going to change this. This is biology 101. This is why the West is falling apart. China too, the imminent population collapse that we're all feeling here in the West, all happening because people aren't abiding by their biological imperatives. You're trying to feminize men and make women masculine. And it's not working. Hey everyone, if you have a minute, please head over to legionofmen.store and grab yourself some cool merch as well. We have a bunch of limited edition designs, brand new stuff on the way, and all the proceeds go to supporting the channel. We don't want to be sponsored by corporations where we have to submit videos for review, have our speech impeded, or push any products that we don't use. So thank you so much to everybody that goes into the shop. Again, it's legionofmen.store. I'll put it up here for you guys. First time customers get a 10% off, and we have a bunch of great designs by artists from the community that watch the channel and support. They get proceeds as well, a percentage of everything that gets sold. So community funded through and through. And it's no synthetic fibers on any on our products. We're using cotton only, of course. I got your back from all those chemicals from synthetic fibers. Again, appreciate you guys. Let's continue.
The reality of matchmaking in China is dramatically changing as we speak. Many leftover women are moving to a different life. It's no secret that society in China is completely different from the West. As the war on technology between China and America continues, there's a big contrast in what the public is exposed to. For instance, TikTok. In China, they have a separate version that is known to promote science, educational, and historical content, while the US version is pushing dance videos and questionable content. So, with this in mind, it is no surprise that millions of women are choosing to pursue higher education or to focus on their careers. And the results?
TikTok was like one of the greatest weapons ever invented to bring America down. What better piece of tech than something that people willingly download onto their phones, that you willingly give up your data for, they track everything, and you sit there like a bozo getting propagandized over and over again and made dumber and dumber the more you consume this content. And it pulls you into rabbit holes because they have the algorithm on lock. So a form of mind control. The advent of TikTok is where you can see a measurable decline on American patriotism, nationalism, American values, traditions. Everything got turned upside down with the advent of TikTok. Crazy to watch. How it's not banned in the US blows my mind.
Well, many people are marrying much later or are even choosing not to marry. This shift challenges traditional norms where women were expected to prioritize marriage and family. But the change in priority is not only in the mind, but also in the location. It has been reported that Chinese men in rural areas find it increasingly difficult to attract a spouse. Why? Well, this is due to the massive rural-urban migration of women seeking better economic opportunities.
Upgrades.
A lot of these career women don't mind being single, but traditions and family roots remain strong, leading some parents to take matters into their own hands and attend wedding markets to advertise their unmarried daughters.
Wedding markets for single women, dude. Can you imagine?
On any given weekend, you'll find hundreds of anxious parents clutching marriage overviews of their children. These resumes do not just contain the usual information like age, height, and income, but also delve into details like whether the person owns a house or a car. If you are single and you own your own house or car, well, you, my friend, are a great catch. Now, this may come across as slightly strange, but what I think adds an extra cherry on top is that many of the daughters being advertised are completely unaware that their details are pinned in the park or market for all to see. This is not exclusively only daughters. Many sons are also being advertised by their parents. Just imagine for a second you're younger. There you are, a nice, happy, single Pringle. And then boom, your mom or dad starts going around markets trying to find a partner. These markets, however, are steeped in tradition. They also highlight the...
Imagine coming home, visiting your parents. Son, sit down, got something to tell you. Me and her mother have been prowling the markets, and I think we found a potential match. So we went ahead and showed your resume. This woman from Changdong province, okay, her family is very nice. We've spoken at length with her parents. She has a good paying job. You two combining could be a great legacy for our families. There's something you need to know though. She's a bit older, but you know what? That's better than being alone. So she's 28. She works at this company and she's also educated. Her parents came from the same village that we did. I think it's extremely important, son, if you go and meet this woman. Just give it a chance. Can you imagine that that's actually a conversation that's probably happened somewhere at some point in time. Same thing for the woman. Is this the sign of a healthy society? They keep telling us overpopulation is a problem, but if anything, it looks like our population is about to get cut down dramatically globally. So what's the root of all this problem? Is it consumerism? Is it hedonism? Materialism? China's banned sissy men and a bunch of other things on social media that don't promote family values. They have a different TikTok than us. They're dealing with the repercussions of the one-child policy, which I'm doubtful they could have foreseen these issues sprouting up in the future. But here in the West, where we have pretty even statistics for female and male births, our issues are particular in the realm of hedonism and degeneracy. Someone bought another shirt. Thank you so much. Shout out to you. We're being indoctrinated with a certain set of principles as well. Far more liberal ones that actually hate country, hate family values, look at the nuclear family as a joke, celebrate an extreme form of individualism. I mean, to the point where you reject reality around you. I feel, therefore I am. My truth, my reality, my experience is different from yours. Therefore, you have to accept it. That's an insane take, man. It sucks that I have to constantly keep harping and drilling in your guy's head because we get new viewers all the time to these videos. But you really should be holding your breath about finding a marriageable woman in the West in general and head somewhere with more traditional values, Southeast Asia, Latin America, Eastern Europe, and meet more grounded people that still value family, men, tradition in general. Because this needle in a haystack search you're embarking on in the West is only going to lead to emotional damage, psychological torture, empty wallet, frustration, and all for nothing. Because your chances of catching a quality mate overseas is 1,000 times better than the shit you have to deal with dating, quote, in the West. It's always interesting to see the one-child policy and its effects long-term on China and how they're dealing with it. But goddamn, man, it's not crazy that you have to have single people markets where parents are going with resumes highlighting what's good about their progeny so that they end up not losing the entire legacy that they worked for. What in the world? Dude, hard times are coming.
Intense societal pressure to marry.
And by the way, what are the longer term repercussions of imminent population collapse that causes economic strain on a nation, which inevitably plunges them into war? Because this is how we used to fix all our problems before. We scapegoat something, we create an enemy out of something because the economy is damn near collapsing, and then we go to war to reset everything. Think about it for a second.
And the lengths to which parents will go to ensure their children are not left behind. What many people are not aware of is how big China's market is. It's a massive market with a lot of cash to be made.
Only getting bigger.
In fact, a lot of well-known corporations have been known to do whatever it takes to get a share of the market. For example, Apple has been known to share its customers' data with the Chinese government. Interestingly, the wedding and dating industry in China is thriving. It has an estimated revenue of over $300 million per year. This has led to some sociologists believing that the leftover women label could have been created by the matchmaking and dating industry to maximize profits, playing on the fears of parents and single women. It is difficult to predict the future, but according to an article on The Conversation, the 7 million single women aged 25 to 34 in urban China are among the largest contributors to the country's growth. Women now contribute around 41% to China's gross domestic product, the largest proportion of any country. Another article suggests that China's leftover trend will persist for years to come. Despite facing challenges such as detention, increased surveillance, house arrests, and imprisonment, women's rights activists in China continue to fight for justice and equality.
There's a societal preference in China for younger brides, typically women in their 20s. No shit. It's not a Chinese preference, it's a species preference. You missed a couple of things. Chinese women have become more selective and less interested in marriage. 2, Chinese women also hold most of the debt in their country. 3, Chinese parents mostly depend on their children as their retirement plan. And a good marriage ensues a good retirement. Oh, this is a nice insight. I'm a Chinese male, 28. At my age, my parents will continuously urge me to find a girlfriend and get married. Although I actually wanted to find a decent girl, but my pocket doesn't allow me to do so. Dating, eating out, buying gifts, traveling, and all kinds of expenses will drive me crazy. Due to the current troubling economics in China, my business in Shanghai can barely support two persons' lives. Besides my part of the issue, the general social environment is in favor of girls. Talking about marriage, as a man, you need to prepare the car, the Kali, which is bride price in English, and even the real estate. If I will pay all of these by myself, that means my marriage will equal millions of debt for half of my life. This is absolutely not the life I wanted. So keep calm and stay single. Woo. There you go. One of the problems very few commentators discuss is the difference between Chinese culture's dependence on large families versus the current issues caused by China's population implosion. The current cohort leaving college has no aunts or uncles or cousins. The men in this cohort are the last link to the family name. One of the current issues China's parents face is their sons telling them that they will not marry and the family will die with them. Ooh. Dated a Chinese girl from Beijing for 5 years. At the end of the day, she chose her career as a teacher and family over our relationship. The greater the scarcity of bachelorettes, the more selective they've become. The more selective bachelorettes become, the more they price themselves out of the marriage market. It's a fertility cycle of self-destruction. Well said. That was China's Deadly Single Women Crisis from Owl of Asia. See you guys on the next one.